Okay, good day everyone. This is just a weekly journal entry on the week of 26th to 30th January. Basically, it's just me mostly reflecting on my performance, and I hope you can learn something as well. So it will mostly be on decision making and execution, and on the behavior of GBP USD, which is the pair that I trade. So my main strategy is about applying bias, which determines the direction that we are trading for that session, levels that we are looking at, and then support resistance that most traders call it, but I just call it clusters. Essentially, it is almost the same thing. Yeah. And then entry candle and confirmations, which eventually lead to the entry. So yeah, let's go to the first trade of the week on 26 January. So my session actually starts on 26 January at 4 a.m. right here. Yeah. So this is just an indicator that I use for me to know the different sessions in a day. So my day is indicated by this vertical line over here, 2100 to 2100, right? So again, my time zone, I set it as UTC -8. Right, so firstly, we determine the bias. The bias based on my rules is buy. So I only look for buys. And then I go to the news calendar. 26 January, there is no high impact news. So high impact news are ones that are demarcated in red. So which means, okay, no news, I'm clear. Which means there's lesser volatility, okay? So firstly, 4 a.m. The next step is I will determine other things like the levels, right? There is a previous weekly high level right here, which is the level that I'll be looking at today. There's presence of a cluster, which is support resistance, demarcated by price reacting off this level over here, this 500 level. So GBP USD actually behaves pretty clearly at these levels in a way that it always reacts at these levels. So whenever you see GBP USD reach those levels, there will be some form of reaction, either rejecting off these levels or just going through them. Okay, so my strategy is based on level to level trading. So there's a cluster right here at the 500 level, which means it's a significant cluster. So the next thing, at 6 a.m. This is a 1 hour candle. On the 6 a.m. 1 hour candle, price broke structure, right? Broke structure. And most importantly, it broke above the 800 level and the previous weekly high. And then before that, there's actually a candlestick pattern, like right here. 1, 2, 3 red candle and then 1 blue candle. Okay, all of these might seem confusing, but as I go along in my videos, there will be a pattern. Yeah, so no worries about that. Okay, so I enter based on this big engulfing candle which breaks structure, and most importantly, where did it break structure? It breaks structure at the previous weekly high, it breaks structure at the 800. So my prediction, or not really prediction, but my analysis tells me that you actually go to the 000 level, which is the next significant level that we are looking at. So I'm just going to forward this, and it did. So in the next 1 hour candle, which is the 7 a.m. candle, it did reach 11 pips. My stop loss is 15 pips, around 0.76 R. Not a lot, but usually when I enter the candle, I'll just aim for the next level. So my entry candle must close above significant levels and levels of interest. So it is not just a random entry, right? So this is the trade on 26 January. And as you can see, it didn't really go beyond the 0 level. So it just reversed. So after 8 a.m., GMT -8, price just stays there. And we'll go on to the next day. Okay, so for this 4 a.m. candle, the next day, right? 4 a.m. candle. I was actually looking for an entry, but price did not really reverse to the 50% fib level, which I'll cover in future videos. It missed it quite like less than 1 pip. But I stick to my rules and I didn't really enter any trade, so nothing. The bias was bye-bye. There was a cluster. There was a candle that closed above the significant level, and for sure price did go to the 500 level, but the thing is it didn't really meet the rules of my entry, and price traveled really far from this cluster, which means my stop loss will be very big. So if I enter here and my stop loss, if I set it at 15 pips, yeah, I'll be stopped out. So usually for big candles, this is abnormally big, I'll just set a fib and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so yeah, and either way I didn't take anything here. And then on 27 January, there is no really high impact news, but there's really nothing here. Yeah, so nothing. Okay, next one. Let's let the chart run. Okay, on 28 January, this is a definition of a ranging market, or basically it means that price did not move at all. There's no clarity in direction. Price ding dong between these significant levels, and then if you see alternating candles which serves like no direction, or you don't see any direction at all, it is a ranging market, and you probably shouldn't engage. You probably shouldn't risk your money on this, because this is just pure gambling and there's no statistics behind it. So I avoid trading this day, and it usually happens during FOMC statement days, or Trump is speaking, or important central bank rates decision. So if you go to 28 January, yeah, there's federal fund rates, FOMC statement, and FOMC press conference on 11 a.m. GMT -8. So surely there wouldn't be much movement before this. So yeah, so even though bias is bye-bye, I look for buys, and there's some support level right here. There's no reaction to any daily levels at all. Remember, my strategy is about interaction with levels, institutional levels, 500, 800, all these blue horizontal lines, and daily levels. So if you look to the left, right, there's no daily levels nearby for me to use. Yeah, so nope. Okay, 29 January. Just go on. Again, bias is bye-bye. Trading day starts from 4 a.m. candle close, right? I'm just gonna retrack a little. Okay. So there was a rejection at previous daily high, this Wednesday's high right here, but there's no reaction, or rather the bias is bye-bye, so I'm looking for buys. That's number one. Number two is showing some bearish rejection, right? Bearish movement, bear candles, but I'm just looking for buys. So there's no bullish clusters. So bullish clusters are like this and like this. There's no bullish clusters at all. So it's a non-trading day for me. So on 29 January, unemployment claims at 5:30 a.m. 5:30, not much movement. I remember this day there's some political unrest, something is happening which led to this big candle. Even though there's this big candle, I do not really trade after 8 a.m. So 7 a.m, this is the 7 a.m. H1 candle, right? It closed at 8. So generally after 8 a.m, there should not be much movement for GBP USD, which prompted me not to trade. And yeah, so there's no trade on this day because price is bearish, even though there's this big bearish candle, but it closed at 8 a.m, which means no trade. Yeah. So there's also no strong bearish signals. I mean, does not really scream entry to me. If it's not clear, just stay out. That's all I'm saying, right? Okay, For the last day, there is a trade, but I missed this out. I missed this trade. Yeah, I missed this trade basically. Okay, so the bias is buy sell, which means I can go two directions, either buy or sell. So how do I determine that? It determines on the price action that I observe. If you go to the news calendar, on 30th, 5:30 a.m. there is core PPI, which is basically it is just some major USD news, right? So that means I only trade after the close of the 5 a.m. H1 candle, which is this. After this candle. So there was a bearish cluster right here, which means this week's, and it happened at a significant level of Wednesday's low right here and 500 level. So the 1 a.m. candle did break through these two significant level, or rather more on the Wednesday's low. That gives me more conviction that price is going down, and then price form a pitchfork. It's like a fork pattern, and then a reverse U pattern right here, which shows me that there's some bearish signs, right? But what is giving me pause is this rejection level right here, near the 200 level, which is also a significant level. Price can easily come down and go back up. Yes, so that gave me pause because there's some obstacles here. And price haven't really break previous daily low. And the 1 a.m. candle, even though it broke Wednesday's low, it didn't really break previous daily low. It rejected off it. So the rejection right here, right? And then followed by bullish candle. So that gave me pause. But on hindsight, 6 a.m. candle was the entry because it formed like a hammer, right? A long wick. Basically, a long wick means you price go up and then go straight down, rejected off Wednesday's low and 500 and go down. So I missed this trade because everything was there. It's just that there was a rejection at this level that gave me pause, but I could have taken a trade to this level and then I will TP at around 11. So this would have been a good trade, honestly. Not A+, but it will be a good trade because there's a lot of bearish signs. You see the overall momentum is actually downwards, right? Price has been breaking structure as we go down. So if I can draw, price broke structure. Price keep breaking structure. So there are signs. It's just maybe fear is holding me back, or it is just something to reflect on. If there are obvious bearish signs, there's a bearish cluster, there's bearish candlestick patterns closing at significant level, and prior momentum basically. So I should have entered, and I'll just I'll keep this in mind before next week comes. So thank you for listening. I'll see you next week.